Hey babes, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm the Moonchild Medium, and I like to spread love and light and healing with my tarot readings. Sorry, it's been a little while since I've done one of these. I was focusing more on private readings, but today I'm feeling really called to do a reading for the collective. I apologize in advance. My camera stand isn't working with the setup I have, so I'm holding the camera with my own hand. It might be kind of shaky sometimes, and I'm gonna have to pull cards off camera, not on camera. But I am hoping to give you guys a really good reading today. I've been getting a lot of messages, downloads for you guys. So here we have 3 stones I'm going to ask you to choose from. The rose quartz, selenite, or here I have a river rock, and here you can take a closer look at that. See if anything speaks to you. Okay. All right. So take a moment to meditate on that. If you need to, pause the video. And when you come back, make sure that you find the timestamp for the stone that you chose in the description. Remember that you can choose more than one. So with that, I'll see you at the pile that you choose. All right, so if you're here, it's because you chose rose quartz. And it's interesting that you chose rose quartz because this talks about love and opening the heart chakra. And it's interesting because right now I'm seeing like kind of like a very sensual, like goddess like body in this crystal ball here. So I'm kind of like picking up on lust, and like I'm seeing like this, almost like this big like monster's claw. And so like it's weird. It's almost like this like a kinky kind of like raw, like passionate sensuality. That's what I'm picking up on this so far. Let's get into the reading and see what the cards have for you. So I'm I went ahead and picked some cards for you already, and this deck that I started with is what I use to ask about the big picture and look at the big picture. And so it's the Nightmare Before Christmas. So don't judge me. I know that it's not Christmas right now when I'm filming it. It's not Christmas or Halloween, but it's been a really good deck for me. So I'm hoping it's going to really help you. So we're looking at your big picture. And I love that this kind of like gave me like almost a storyline for you. It's pretty cool actually, this storyline. So let's get into that. All right, so the Empress. This is a call to compassion. This could be you. And what I'm seeing in this whole and like this whole setup here is like that you may have the tendency to like be like a strong personality, someone who like knows what they want, can be like maybe even a little bit dominating. And so this is a call to compassion for you, not only for others but also for yourself. And it looks like you need to kind of indulge in creative impulses. So try to stay grateful and keep a positive outlook as you do that, and you're gonna start to see like that things work out a little bit better for you if you're taking like a more compassionate approach. So then we're moving on here to the 7 of Needles in reverse. And this is interesting because it's basically saying it's time to face the truth. Interesting that it has been followed by this card, the Page of Potions in reverse, because this is referring to childishness because of your emotions getting away with you. So you might have to face the truth that, and that actually makes sense with this view of the Empress that we have, that she needs to be more compassionate or like approach things with more compassion, because it seems like maybe there's like something emotional that you've been like a little bit childish about. But what I love here is that you're like going through this transformation where you're becoming the Queen of Potions. Now, when we're looking at, suits in this deck, needles is swords, and that usually is in regards to things like emotions and things that you need to like release in your life. And potions is cups, and potions also has a lot to do with emotions and like just going with the flow, like fluidity, right? So it looks like you have been in this this energy, this Page of Potions energy, where you've been more childish about your emotions, but you've kind of graduated already to this like Queen of Potions. Or you are graduating, you're like going through this transformation, becoming the Queen of Potions. And that's great because the Queen of Potions is like really, really in control of their own emotions. And this helps them to manifest the things that they want into their reality. Like they're the queen, they're royalty. And I mean, that's what you are. You're the Empress, you're royalty. So like you're meant to actually have the things that you want, and you're more capable than you think. And so here I'm seeing the Lovers card, and what's interesting is that yes, I am picking up on references to romance with this Lovers card, but what I'm getting is that there's actually also like this like a choice that needs to be made. Why is this not focusing? Anyways, there's a choice that needs to be made. You're creating like meaningful relationships, but they need to be built on honesty and mutual respect and trust. So this is not only a decision that needs to be made, but it's one that needs to be made like with your heart. Like you can't actually overanalyze it. So you kind of just have to move from your intuition on this one. And what's interesting is we have the Hermit in reverse, and the Hermit is someone who knows how to take time for themselves when they need to. So it looks like this is something that you actually need to do. This is a choice that you need to make, kind of to become this Queen of Potions. Like there's something that's like holding you back. and it's your own like childishness. So you're just gonna have to, like, there's a decision you need to make, and you're just gonna have to make it. Like, you just are gonna have to like decide that it's better for you to spend some time alone right now. So then I pulled another card because I wanted to know kind of like the truth. What was the truth that you needed to face, or like a little bit more about the truth that you needed to face. So I pulled out the deck where I actually, it's like my truth telling deck. And this is what I got, which is the reverse 7 of Pentacles. And this is pretty clear cut that you're having anxiety over money. And what's interesting is it could especially have to do with money that's lent or given to you. So this is like the thing that's like actually one of the things that seems to have you acting up like childishly, is because you're so like focused on you're more focused on money, and like I'm getting the sense that there's like gifts, somebody's giving you gifts or something like that. Maybe that's the reason why you haven't chosen to be alone yet, and that's why you need to choose to be alone, but you're actually like afraid of not having this anymore. Or you're afraid of not being able to make ends meet. And it's interesting because this is like a 7 in reverse, right? A 7 is usually like about luck and prosperity. But it kind of seems like these possessions are keeping you tied down and held back. And that's pretty interesting. So we're going to come back to that, I think. I pulled some more cards for you. These are oracle cards, like moon cards. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, we've got the new moon in Scorpio, talking about working through your fears. And this kind of like goes with what I was saying, the fears of the not having enough money. What's interesting too is that this new moon in Scorpio card specifically also refers to like having sexy time. So maybe there's like some sex magic you need to be working on. I don't know. That's interesting. You also need to release a grudge, and there's like some jealousy you need to move on from as well. Stop obsessing. You might be being paranoid. So like this, there's just like obviously there's like some big emotions that you've been dealing with, right? And so you're kind of like learning to overcome the big emotions, learning how to become this person who's like unbothered by them, right? So this is what this is about, working through your fears. Interesting that like it's a new moon in Scorpio, and Scorpio is a pretty secretive zodiac sign, and we pulled the Hermit card about being alone. So there's just maybe some healing you have to do, like working through your emotions, that has to be kind of on your own. And of course, emotions are running high. This is a super moon though, so like something exciting is coming. So things might feel like a little bit chaotic. But success is close, man. I'm really excited for you guys here, for my rose quartz people, because even though emotions are running high, like you're almost there. you're coming up on something really, really special. So just try to stay grounded. Don't blow events out of proportion. And you might have to actually ask the divine goddess for her help. So lean into your spirituality a little bit more when it comes to that kind of stuff, like overcoming emotions. You just need like some meditation and stuff in your life right now. We've got a full moon in Aries card, a fiery climax approaches. So obviously, we were talking about needing to approach things with compassion. And that's kind of what this is all about, talking about. Also, like, just reiterating the point that you're going to get a lot more done right now. You're going to get a lot more out of life and have so much more success if you just approach things with like a kind demeanor, and you smile, and just like kindness and being really polite is going to get you so far. So like being assertive is good, but just try not to bulldoze over anyone. And meditation is key for you. That's going to bring you peace. So just like, oh, and that's the other thing that I think is really funny too about this card, is that it specifically says, like, don't be a baby in, like the description of the cards. It says, don't be a baby. And we've got this card that's saying like you're, acting childish in your emotions. So I'm sorry to say that that's what's going on. That's the truth. But there's a need to have more fun. So there's like an interesting, like, don't be a baby, but like also have more fun, which is something you have to do when you're taking care of your inner child. So it seems like maybe your inner child is acting up, and that's why you need to take care of that. That's why you need to have more fun. Then we've got the full moon in Pisces, balance spirituality and practicality. So this is another call to meditate. There's a lot of reference to meditation. So it looks like you really need to take some quiet time to yourself. You're kind of in a romantic state and you're not realistic right now. So you got to follow your intuition, but you also have to stay grounded. At worst, this could be talking about like the end of a dream. It could just be like that, what you thought you wanted, or like what you thought you were going to get. It's not going to turn out the way you exactly thought it was. But don't worry, because the end of one dream is only the beginning of like a new chapter for you, like something that's beautiful and really just aligning with your higher self and your highest calling, right? So, and interestingly enough, there's like some real soulmate energy here, which is funny that I happened to stick this one kind of like over the Lover's card, because there is some soulmate energy here, like some, some actual like romantic love. So meditate on that. And try to stay away from like addiction, like substance abuse. You might be struggling with that a little bit. But like really just take some time to like alone, to be like kind of like spiritual with yourself, but like realistic about what's going on, right? And then lastly, I pulled the Mermaid Tarot for you because I wanted to know, what, after seeing all of these cards, right? What do you need to do in order to align with this, with like the the dream that you have, right? Like your highest calling, your highest vibration. There's something that you want that maybe it's not turning out exactly the way that you had expected it was going to. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, because look, we've got a new moon, so there's a new start, but we've also got a super moon. We've got these 2 full moons. So like success is close, success is near. You're really just working mostly on it seems like more of a emotional barrier than anything else, which is that you need to kind of like control your temper and like meditate a little more. So I wanted to know, what is something that you can do to align yourself with this higher vibration, with this really exciting thing that's coming, that's on the horizon for you, right? So what can you continue to do? And so we've got this one, the Devil. This is from the Mermaid Tarot deck. And now this is really interesting because in this deck, this is like kind of like the one that I use for shadow work a little more. And so this, when it's talking about like the concept of the devil, talks about really just like how the devil in this context is just giving you the temptation, but the latch is unlocked, the door is like open. Basically all you have to do is open the door because it's unlocked, but you're trapped, you're stuck and trapped there because of like shiny things, things that are calling your name, like things that are kind of like loud really, but you're needing to take this quiet time away from it all in order to clear your head, right? So in order to align yourself with this, like with this whole, this Queen of Potions energy, and just like maybe even this like lover energy, really, you kind of have to be willing to walk away from those things. And that can be scary, especially it seems like that's kind of like the thing that's holding you back, is that's the temptation, right? Is that you have anxiety over money and not having enough. And so there may be somebody who's giving you who's giving you gifts, or like you may be in a place where you're getting gifts, but you're just not in a place where you're happy. Like you're trapped, you're stuck. But really the only thing that you need to do to be unstuck is to open the door and walk away. But to do that, you have to be willing to walk away from these things, right? So that's part of the choice that you have to make. You have to be willing to walk away from these things, to trust that the universe has your back, and you don't have to have anxiety over whether you're going to have enough, because you are. Right now you're just like in a place where you can't do anything because you're so trapped. How can you make your own money if you're that trapped? How can you really take care of yourself if you're stuck in a cage, right? But you can take care of yourself. You just aren't seeing it because you're letting yourself be sucked in by these fancy things. Okay, so all you have to do is walk away. All you have to do is walk away from those material things, from those gifts, from that situation, and you will actually see things start to turn around for you very, very quickly. Even though it seems like you're in a bad situation right now, like I promise it's going to turn around the minute you open that door and you get out of there. Okay? Thank you so much for giving me the honor of reading your aura and your essence of who you are as a person, and trying to help you out. I hope that you've gotten some good information today, and I'm going to be trying to put out more videos from now on, so try to check back, and if you can, like and subscribe, because that really helps me out, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye. I said goodbye in the last reading like I was such a flight attendant or something. Goodbye. So anyways, if you guys are here, it's because you chose selenite. And selenite is related to the moon. Now I'm doing this reading on the night of a full moon, and this is a timeless reading, so it applies no matter when you click on this video. But I felt very drawn to this stone today. I'm trying to see what I can feel coming off of it. I feel like there's just like a lot of chaotic energy inside of you, and you don't really know what to do with it. So there's just like this almost this feeling of like being in the eye of the storm or something like that. Like things aren't as bad as they could be, but like not, at least not on the outside, but on the inside you're like boiling, like you're just like ready to explode. That's what I get. And if that's the case, I'm really sorry that that's what you're going through. So let's see if we can help. All right, so I pulled some cards for you. We're gonna see. I already took a look at them, but I always pick up on more as I'm like actually doing the reading. So let's see what I got for you. All right, that's right. Okay, so we've got, this is like your big picture, right? We've got the High Priestess in reverse. And what's interesting about this is that this is like this is saying like you need some contemplation and some self-reflection. And like there's a need for compassion. And I'm thinking this is like compassion for yourself and for others. Like you kind of need to like look at a situation for what it really is, right? Not just for what it looks like on the outside or like what you thought it was, but there's like something that you're like a lesson you didn't really learn, or something you have misinterpreted or something. Like I think that your intuition was trying to tell you something and you misinterpreted it, right? And so now you're needing to take a look at it from another perspective. So if things are not feeling harmonious right now, it's time for you to, just take a step back and take a look at what's going on. Now, let's see what we got here. All right. So this is for my, like, what I consider to be my truth-telling deck. So this is, I pulled this card specifically in relation to wanting to know what is it? What is this obstacle? There's like an obstacle that you need to troubleshoot, and so I wanted to know what the obstacle is. Like what is this thing that you didn't understand, right? So what's interesting is that I pulled the Eight of Cups, and while this High Priestess in reverse talks about there being like something that you need to take a look at for what it is, and maybe like not really knowing exactly like the whole truth, the whole situation. And then we've got the Eight of Cups, which talks about there being like something that you thought was important, but it's not as important as you thought it was, right? Or it's not maybe not as big of a deal or something as you thought it was. So it's like this obstacle that you thought you had run into, it's gonna be easily overcome, right? Okay, and so then I wanted to know more about what the obstacle is, and I'm sure you want to know what the obstacle is that's of little importance. Okay, so then I pulled these cards. All right, get a little more light on there. All right, so interesting that we pulled the High Priestess when yours is in reverse. And to be honest, I am getting such strong vibes that this is actually this is someone else, right? Someone that you've met who was in their High Priestess energy. And so like I love this because the symbolism is really, it's like, look at this. We've got two High Priestess, right? And even though they're not exactly the same, they're somewhat like mirroring each other, right? One is upside down, the other one is right side up. So there's like some mirror energy going on here. Some like, it could be like some twin flame energy, or just like somebody who you were meant to learn from in a way that you are both mirroring each other. You're kind of going through the same things, right? But this is someone who was functioning in their High Priestess energy when you met them. And then we have the Ten of Swords, which really references like a pursuit of profit, success. It could be fame. It could be just like gratification. I just get that it was like there was instant gratification, and this is something that you chose. But unfortunately, this instant gratification was not permanent. It didn't last, or it's coming to an end for you now, and so that may be where you're at. And so what I have this Tower card here, and it's in reverse, and so this is really giving me the sense that you're like feeling like you're in a tower moment, right? And I mean, I've kind of like picked up on that when I was like holding on to the selenite, right? You're in this tower moment. Things are feeling like really emotional for you right now, but it's not what you think it is. It's not real. Like, it's not really a tower moment. Things are not over. Like, you think that this situation is over. Like, maybe you think that you lost your chance with the High Priestess because you took this, but you are not realizing like this, you were wrong about them. Like you're more compatible than you think you are, and like what your goal is to turn this over and align yourself more with like the High Priestess. And whether that's because you're meant to just become like a High Priestess yourself, or because you're actually like supposed to be collaborating with this person, that's something that you have to kind of figure out through meditation just like your own healing journey. But this is not over. This is not over. So yeah, this situation that you thought was like the end of the world, it is not by a long shot. Okay, this is just like in your head. And it seems like you are in your head a lot because you've got these huge emotions going on, right? So, oh man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry because I feel for you. But I also want to encourage you and let you know that this isn't over. Like, this is more in your head than it is reality. Like, this high priestess is still around, obviously, because they showed up in this reading, right? And they're still important. They're still important to you. And I get the sense that you're also important to them. And to be honest, there's a conversation that needs to be had. There seems to be like a misunderstanding that happened at some point for you to be feeling like you're going through this tower moment, like you can't have something because you made this decision. I think you're like you're coming to the realization that you like made the wrong choice and you want to go back. And to be honest, I'm not sure. I can't tell you whether or not that would result in you actually getting back together or like getting together with them in like a romantic sense or something like that. But it seems like there's still a lesson that you need to learn from this person. And there's a conversation that you need to have. And this is what's going to free you from this karmic cycle. This is what's going to free you, is this conversation. Okay, so this conversation needs to be had. You can't continue just like ignoring it, because you've blown something way out of proportion, and it's really like got you in your feelings, like in your emotions. Like I sense the turmoil. I sense like I'm having like a pain in my chest. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. There's like heartbreak. I feel it. I feel your heartbreak. So I wanted to know a little bit more about this high priestess and tower situation because it seems to be something that's a big deal for you, right? So I went ahead and I pulled these cards from my Mermaid Oracle deck. Okay, so we've got Time Out in reverse, and the little message here is awareness, contemplation, solitude, time alone. Okay, so it looks like you are actually having difficulty taking time alone, and this may actually be the reason why you chose this over the high priestess. You chose like instant gratification. You may have chosen someone else over them. Maybe someone who had money, because this really talks a lot about like wealth and gifts and stuff like that. Like things that are more like material possessions, or like, fame, fortune. So this may be like that you chose somebody who could give you like money, or who was just like more willing to give you attention at the time, like someone maybe you didn't have to work for because they were right there. And so like you may be confusing like your need for love with your need for people. And I'm getting the sense that you're like, you continue to replace people with people. When what you really need to be doing is taking time to yourself. You need to take some time to contemplate. There's maybe some like not only emotional like work that needs to be done, there's just like you need to get your emotions under control. That's what I'm sensing. You need to get your emotions under control and start to like meditate on this. Start asking yourself questions, because the questions are going to come to you. I mean, I'm sorry, the answers are going to come to you. So start asking the questions. But you have to do it from like a place of solitude. You kind of have to be away from people right now and work on yourself. Here we've also got water flight. Let's see, heaviness lifts, burdens are cast away, weightlessness. And what this is like just reiterating the whole thing about the emotions, because the truth is, oh, that's so beautiful. The reason why water flight is important is because there's like a weightlessness that we get from water. So what I love about this card is that it kind of like gives a specific, like if you're a woman, then you need to be connecting to your womb space. All right, you need to be, everyone like reading this card, everyone who I've pulled this card for is in need of connecting with their femininity, with their water side. And so if you're a woman, that means connecting to your womb space. But if you're a man, that actually means something as literal as going to a natural body of water. Just being basically committed to healing, submerged in healing. You kind of need to be able to go like wash your emotions away, and in a sense this could include like, you know, crying, screaming, whatever it is that you need to do to get these emotions out of, like fear. I just sense like a lot of fear. Maybe that's one of the reasons that you were afraid to go towards the high priestess, because they were someone that you kind of would have to work towards or something like that. And you were kind of afraid that you weren't good enough, but you are. You're their counterpart. You're also a high priestess. So really it's all in your head. It's really all in your head. And I don't mean that to be dismissive. I just mean that actually to be more encouraging, that what you're dealing with more than actual inadequacy is feelings of inadequacy. And these are things that can be addressed. These are things that you can work through. So yeah, spending a little bit of time alone, I think, is actually going to align you with this frequency, and prepare you for the conversation, a really difficult conversation that needs to be had. And this is going to mean that you're going to need to kind of put your ego in check. But I promise, if you do, it's actually going to turn out really, really well. You kind of have to just like trust that if you have this conversation, you're going to get what you need from it. You're actually going to get healing from it, so that you can be vibrating on more of a level of a high priestess yourself. You can be vibrating on your highest level, right? Now let's see. I also pulled one last card, just like, since, you know, I'm the moon child, I'm going to pull you a moon card. And I love this one. A time to give rather than take, the new moon in Virgo. Now this says several things to me, especially in the context of the reading as a whole, but also in the context of what you seem to be going through with your, like just this emotional turmoil. So new moons are new beginnings. And so right now you're in a new beginning where you're starting to learn not only how to take care of yourself, but you're learning how to invest in the world around you. And so this is interesting because it's saying it's a time to give rather than take, but you're also being told to take some time out and time away from people. So interestingly enough, is this could be referencing several things. One thing is a time to give could be, giving your spirit guides, maybe calling you to give to nature, to give back to the nature spirits, to water spirits, things like that. And so you might be needing to go and make some nature offerings to the earth, because Virgo is an earth sign. So that's one of the things. Another thing that it can mean is that it's time, like I get the sense that this high priestess has given to you, and like maybe maybe the reason you think that it's messed up is because of some messages they sent you or things that they said or things you said or didn't say. But for some reason there's a separation between you, right? And this might require for you to be the one, like you might be thinking like that you want them to call you, you want them to write to you. And so this is telling me like that's not going to happen. You actually need to write to them. But like also trusting that this is going to give you exactly what you need in order to move forward. I mean, gradual improvements are coming. That's one of the pros of pulling this card, is that this is just letting you know, even if it seems like it's slow or it's counterproductive, it's coming. It's happening very gradually. Improvements are happening. So pay attention to detail, but try not to get lost in them. Recommit to your healthy routines, and really just remember that if you're of service to others, if you are of service even to this high priestess energy, then the money and love will actually follow. All right. So there's like this like a need for instant gratification, money and things like that, and maybe that's why you chose this over the high priestess, right? But this card is just kind of like teaching you that you don't need to actually choose this instant gratification option, because you're capable of actually creating a life for yourself that's so beautiful and so easy that money and love just flow to you naturally. Okay. So don't rate. Oh, this is another thing actually that's really important about this one, is that the person you're asking about is reliable. So this person is reliable. If you choose to have a conversation with them, you might recognize that this isn't actually a tower moment at all. They're going to come through. Even if you think they won't, I promise you, just take that leap of faith and they will come through. I know it's scary, but don't wait for them to reach out to you. It's your turn to reach out to them. Let me think. Is there anything else? It's just, you got to remember that this is like a lot of mirror energy going on here. So the more you engage in this, instead of like just running away and trying to hide, the more you engage in this, like in the world, this is like part of engaging in the world. This is part of having an experience, engaging in your experience, right? So the more you engage with this instead of running away from it, the more healing you're going to find, and the more healing you're going to be offering them as well, because you guys are mirroring each other. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have for you today. noticing this 8 here too. We've got the 2s, and we've got a 10. So there's like a lot of spirituality that needs to happen here right now. There's like a lot of meditation that needs to happen, specifically in relation to your emotions. And you kind of need to be thinking about this conversation and emotionally preparing for the conversation that you need to have with this high priestess. All right. I hope this really helps, and that this helps you, that you're able to, figure this situation out and align yourself with your highest calling, with your high priestess energy, right? I believe in you. I know you can do this. And keep checking back for more, because I really, really want to continue to make videos that are going to help you to heal and to align with your highest vibration. So thank you so much for allowing me the pleasure of tuning in to what you got going on and trying to help you out with it. I hope I see you again soon. Bye. Okay. Hello, my River Rock babies. You seem like adventurers to me, like people who love to spend time outdoors. I got this rock on one of my adventures this past summer. And it's really helped me to be grounded when I've been experiencing overwhelming emotions. And now at the time that I'm channeling this message and pulling these cards for you, it's currently a full moon in Cancer. Now this message is timeless, so it doesn't matter if it's not the full moon in Cancer when you're stumbling across it now. But I can tell that this reading has a lot of emotion to it, as Cancer does, the zodiac sign of Cancer. Now, if you have Cancer in your chart, I'm getting the sense that you need to get grounded, connect to your, I'm seeing like green and orange and yellow. So there's I feel like there's some heart chakra, solar plexus chakra, and maybe even some sacral chakra type of work that needs to be done. Some balancing and alignment in your chakras that would help actually to align your emotions, or deal with your emotions, keep them under control. So let's get into the reading. It's going to start out with just the big picture. All right. We've got the Chariot. And now I have the sense a lot of you who have watched the previous 2 piles are also joining me here, because I get there's almost it's almost as if there was one type of person who sorry, let me adjust my camera. It's almost like there was one type of person who was one way, and then another person who was another way, and then now this is the reading almost for both of you. That's kind of what it feels like to me, but I mean, it who knows. But here we go. We've got the Chariot, which is related to the number 7. 7 is for prosperity. It can also signify a perfect ending or a perfect cycle. So it could be a death and rebirth type of situation, which a lot of people are going through right now. So that would be really understandable. This is talking about not getting sidetracked and kind of just continuing to put forward momentum into what you want. If you want something, you got to go for it. Don't let anything stop you from getting it. If you want it, which I just kind of like get the sense that there's something really big that you want, like something that you want so bad. And we're seeing that in this like full moon energy. And for those of you who have watched The Nightmare Before Christmas, this is the moment where Jack is just, he's elated. He gets to do the thing that he wants, right? Like this is his thing. And even though other people have said that maybe he couldn't have it, that, you know, like he wasn't going to let that stop him, and he just plowed forward and kept going for what he wanted. And that's kind of like the energy that you need to have right now. Just forward momentum, determination. And then I see here we've got the reverse page of presence, which if you were to translate that to regular tarot suits, that would be the page of pentacles. So this is telling me that since it's in reverse, that you're frustrated and disappointed, and that you need to cut your losses and move on because there's more opportunities on the horizon. But what's interesting is that it's almost like you feel like, it's interesting because it's almost like you feel like, oh, I need to cut my losses. And I'm hearing like that cutting your losses, moving on, and knowing that there's more opportunities ahead is not about letting go of what you want and this situation that you want. It's about letting go of your need to control it. There's like a transformation that needs to happen surrounding this manifestation. So you might be trying to manifest something into your life right now, and feeling frustrated and disappointed about it. That's what I'm getting. And you need to just like allow this situation to like flow and transform into what it's going to become. And it's interesting you chose the river rock, and we're talking about things flowing and just letting them become what they're going to become, because obviously this has a lot to do with water, even though it's a stone. So yeah, I'm getting the sense that you just kind of like need to let the situation evolve into whatever it's going to be, and know that there's still more opportunities for you, right? Then we have the Two of Presents, which again, that's the Two of Pentacles. And this is about prioritizing your time, making sure that you're spending it on the right things and the right people, right? So this is kind of your big picture, right? You're kind of needing to learn how to manifest things into your life by just going for them, doing them, and not allowing this frustration to hold you back from actually prioritizing your time on things that matter to you, right? So at this point, after I had pulled these, I decided to take out my Mermaid Tarot deck. And so, you know, since I had seen that you had some upcoming opportunities, this card actually was talking about upcoming opportunities, and, you know, you're manifesting something. I wanted to know, what are the upcoming opportunities? So here I pulled the Magician, which I love, okay, because this is more of that manifester energy, okay? And there's like this full moon energy. This obviously looks like a full moon, and it's like that fire energy. So yeah, like this is pretty cool. You basically can choose anything you want. The opportunity is coming for you. You can make anything happen that you want. Like, you're in a state of creation. So excuse me, no decision is wrong here, and you're just gonna have to make one Like, make a decision and then move toward it. And what's interesting is I keep hearing, if you want them, go for it. So I did not intend for this whole thing to be a love reading. But it seems like that's kind of where we're at right now, where this is feeling like a love reading, because it's almost like you're manifesting something into your life. And I'm just hearing this, like, if you want them, go get them. If you want them, get them. Like, don't let anything stop you from getting them. Don't let your own perception that you messed up and can't have them. Don't let that stop you. Don't let, I don't know, if they seem like they're interested in someone else, or just they don't seem like they're interested in you. Like, don't let that stop you. Continue to manifest them into your life, okay? Because all you have to do is decide that you want them. You don't even have to know how you're going to get them. You just have to decide that you want them. And maybe you haven't decided that yet, and so that's why this card is coming up. That's why these cards are coming up. So you just have to decide that you want this person. That's really interesting. Okay, so then I also pulled these two cards, also in relation to the opportunities coming up. So here we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse, and this is talking about childishness, and that's keeping you unmotivated. And it's interesting because you might be here from pile 1, I believe, who was dealing with childishness, especially surrounding emotions. And what's one thing that we kind of go through, as you know, if you're somebody who has been betrayed, human beings just have this response to betrayal in their childhood that causes them to become unmotivated. It's like you learn that as a child, that when you spoke up and you said, I need this, I need that, or you hurt me in this way, please don't do that. It wouldn't mean anything to your parent or to somebody like an authority figure or something like that, right? And so then that would create a betrayal wound in you, which tells you that no matter what you do, you don't really have any control over your life. You don't really have an effect on the outcome, right? So there seems to be that kind of a wound going on for you, where you're not going after what you want because you don't actually think that you have an effect on the outcome. And I mean, you seem to think that you've lost your chance, but you really haven't. You just got to do something about it. And then here we have the reverse 4 of Pentacles, which I love because it's this symbolism is that this mermaid is sitting on a rock, right? And you chose the river rock, right? It's time to get off the rock. You've been in isolation for quite a while. You've almost just made up your mind that you just can't have this thing that you want. And so that's why you haven't been going for the thing that you want. But the reason that you can't have it is just because you're not going for it. You're not actually deciding, I want that. So the first step is to decide, I want that, right? Then it's to actually decide to do something about it, which is to go out and to experience the world. There's a fear of isolation I'm sensing here, and that's keeping you from interacting with the world. It's interesting that it's a fear of isolation, because that's what's isolating you. it's like you've been alienated so much, and that's hurt you so much. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's like a fear of rejection. That's what your fear of like, it's almost like you isolate yourself because you're afraid of rejection. You're afraid of somebody looking at you and thinking that you're too much or too different or something like that. I'm so sorry. That just cannot be further from the truth. There's something that you want. There's something that you want that your spirit guides are telling you, this is for you. This is for you. Like, you got to stop isolating yourself and thinking that you can't have it. You just actually, the only reason you don't have it is because you haven't decided that that you're even worthy of it, right? Okay, so then I also wanted to know, in regards to this, like, Two of Presence, or Two of Pentacles energy, which Two of Pentacles, like, the number 2 is like a relationship number. So whether it's romantic, whether it's a friend relationship, whether it's a family relationship, it's romantic. It's a relationship number, right? Obviously I said romantic, like, I'm getting romantic vibes off of it, personally. But I mean, relationships in general, that's what 2 signifies. So, it looks like you're actually starting a new beginning in your relationships, because we've got this number 1 here. And so, yeah, your new beginning is deciding what you want. So you're in this moment of deciding, and we want to know who you need to prioritize, or like what things you need to prioritize. So I went ahead and asked, we'll just stick them here. Went ahead and asked about that. And this is very clear. You need to prioritize yourself. I mean, this is very like self-care, like rest. And that's interesting too, because this is like move forward momentum. And like also like get off this rock, engage with the world, right? But then it's telling you like rest, focus on yourself. So it looks like you're kind of like in a period where you're needing to, spend some time like kind of like in suspension, and like, this like not, I don't want to say like in ice, like you're frozen and you can't move, but there's just like a need to like fully rest. That's what it is. It's a need to fully rest. It's like, don't don't even go on social media that day. Like, really take some time to yourself. Like you need to meditate, and this can be in the form of playing. You can meditate when you play, you can meditate when you move, you can meditate like in so many different ways. So like, pick something that's good for you, and just take that time off. Take some time to yourself, because you really need to like ask yourself what it is that you want, and this is going to help you decide. When you meditate, the answers come to you, right? So that's kind of like where the mindset that you need to be in. So that you need that, and again, that's going to be like at least like a full day of rest. Then we have the reverse Wheel of Fortune, and this is like kind of like talking about needing to like, so there are times when you need to like take charge of your destiny, and there's times when you need to go with the flow. When it comes to your manifestations, the reason why you need to the thing that you need to do to take charge of your destiny is to actually make a decision, right? When it comes to like your self-care, you actually need to take some time and like go with the flow when it comes to like, you know, this like feeling of frustration, of, you know, childishness, not knowing where to go from here, or like who to spend time with, who to prioritize, right? You're just gonna need to go with the flow and not force anything right now, right? But at the same time, you've got this Ace of Swords, which is like, it's a gift of knowing what was unavailable to you before, right? This is kind of like what you're learning in this period of like rest, basically, and surrender, is you're learning about what was unavailable to you because you were not aligned with it. And this also may go to this really sounds a lot like the pile number 2, like the, you know, those of you who chose selenite might also be here as well, because this is really like in alignment with that reading. There was something that you weren't in alignment with, that you wanted. Oh, that's what this is. There's something that you something that you weren't in alignment with, that you wanted. And now, through this moment of self-care, you're learning what that is. You're learning what it is that you were not in alignment with and why. Right? And I'm getting the sense that you're wondering whether this is now the gift of hindsight, and like this is, and that's okay, yeah, no, this is making sense. So like this whole like feeling that you don't like this opportunity has passed you by. Look, what's meant for you is meant for you. So if this was meant for you, which your guides are clearly saying that it is, as long as you decide that that's what you want, then it is meant for you. This is like a blessed thing. You can totally have it, right? So as long as it's meant for you, sorry, I'm just repeating some things in my head. Because it's like your guides really want to reiterate to you that this is meant for you. This is meant for you. Like stop thinking that you can't have it, right? You've already given up and admitted defeat before you've actually seen defeat. And this Ace of Swords is like saying, like, you actually don't know until you pick up the sword. You don't know if it's going to work for you or not work for you until you try. So yeah, like this person or opportunity you passed up, this is worth exploring in order to really decide if it would work or not. There's like this fear of rejection holding you back, I can see. Okay, so since we were, working with where is this guy? The river rock. So many mermaid tarot cards. I decided to pull one more for you from my Myths and Mermaids Oracle deck. I love this one because it's just so like good at really just calling me out on the things that are holding me back. So let's see, we've got the mermaid with the baby alligator. Mermaid with the baby alligator. There's a number 5. 5 is a spirit number. So I just want to say this is like divinely guided. Whatever's going on here, this is divinely guided by spirit, and you just need to trust You just need to trust everything is going as it needs to go. You basically just need to make decisions for yourself. So take some rest, make some decisions. Yeah, this is all about accepting your own vulnerability, okay? Letting down your walls and opening your heart. This is what's going to help you to grow as a person, okay? You got to be vulnerable, and you got to trust that you will be met with honor and respect and love. Love for you, for who you are authentically. Some of you here, I'm getting the sense of never really felt that. And so that's part of the reason you're so skeptical as to why this connection could still be available to you. You feel like you really messed up. Or the situation just got so messed up and there's no way around it. But that is not true. That is not true at all. So I want to encourage you to just take some time out to rest. Decide what you want and then go for it. Don't hold yourself back from something that could be really, really good for you, from something that you genuinely want and that your spirit guides are guiding you toward. Don't hold back because you're afraid. Because you're afraid of being vulnerable. Okay, this is meant for you, so it's going to be a growing experience for you. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I do want to say that if you go through with this, you will grow exponentially. Okay, that's something I can guarantee you. And it's going to be growth in ways that you have been wanting to grow. I'm getting this overwhelming sense that you've been asking Spirit to help you grow in these areas. You've been asking Spirit to help you to become more present in these areas. Okay, so this is something that is going to ultimately help you to do that. Okay, Spirit is putting this situation in front of you so that you can confront it. Spirit is putting this situation in front of you because if you can actually decide what you want, you can have it. And this is going to teach you that, how to take control of your life. Okay? I really hope that this reading resonated with you and that it was helpful. Please feel free to let me know how you felt about it in the comments down below. And I wish you the best of luck on your journey. I hope I will see you again soon. Going to be trying to put out more videos for you guys. So just check back, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe because that really, really helps me out. All right, thanks, and I hope you have just the most fantastic time on this beautiful journey. Bye.